Oh boy!
Hello.
Hello! I'm having a good old time here.
It's interesting that, wow, I feel like I'm overusing that phrase. It's interesting
It's interesting that. That's like your catchphrase.
Is it?
Right? My catchphrase is, I can't even handle this, and your catchphrase is, it's interesting that.
Well, my previous catchphrase was, this is too much for me.
Most of the time I'm using that in reference to myself, though. Saying that it was actually too much for me. So, you know what?
Well, that was in Higurashi. In Umineko, it was just too much for me the whole way through.
Sure. It was. It's too much for me, too.
Still haven't received that supercut of too much for me from Umineko. So
we're waiting for the fucking people. We're waiting for the talent.
People to come through on it.
Yes, you people out there. Get on it. Get on it.
But
please.
This is the first kind of set of scenes where we've really had, like, no time. Well, I don't want to say set of scenes because there's really only one after the next.
Where are you going with this?
No time has really passed between these scenes.
No.
Like, we've had one phone call, off the phone, we're straight into another one.
Yep.
Typically, when we've had these chapters, they've been like an individual stretch of time each. Then there'll be a gap, and then there'll be the next stretch of time. And there have been a couple of exceptions.
We've just been hanging out in Keiichi's room for a long while. Yeah, but getting lots of information and stuff.
This is like the smallest scope of time relative to how long it's been addressed in the story.
Well, we were told we'd be getting a history lesson, and that's basically what this has been, which is fun. I hope you're not getting fatigued by the amount of expositions being dumped on us.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that this is being presented. The exposition, I've said it again. The way that the exposition is being presented here isn't in a particularly engaging way, but it's also doesn't feel that dry.
No, it's not bad. Like
there's still a central tension around this exposition being delivered. Rather than just being delivered and us expected to sit along for the ride.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. There's a reason why I'm a little bit more engaged in the first arc than the second arc. It's because we spend a lot of time like talking about things rather than going out and doing stuff, I guess, if that makes sense. I'm looking forward to when we finally leap into action and everything goes perfectly fine, I'm sure.
Yeah. But as I was saying at the beginning of the last video, this definitely has, like, that was a lot less on edge, I felt, than Uishi's equivalent in the previous chapter, or previous arc.
I mean, I'm saying, but it's Shion is a victim here too, right? Right? This is a much more even playing field. It's something I've been kind of drawing attention to, but most of the time when we get this exposition, it's from a power figure, it's from someone older, it's from someone who, like Uishi is he's trying to solve the case, but he's kind of detached from it. There's no real threat to him. Shion, big threat to her. She's in just as fucked up a situation as we're in, because she went into the shrine shed or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's a very different situation to the first arc.
I feel cheated, actually, because Uishi had all of those wonderful death flags last arc, and he survived. What the heck is up with that?
It's great. Oh, I love him so much. It's just to, like, hammer home, like, how fucking dedicated he is. I love him so much.
Alrighty.
After hanging up on Shion, I searched for Rika-chan's phone number on my school's contact list. There it is. My fingers trembled with urgency, and I failed multiple times to put in the simple 5-digit number.
Oh no, 5 digits? That's a teeny tiny number.
Well, because if you're in the same region, you don't need the beginning extension.
Oh.
Did you not know that about phone numbers?
No, I don't know these things about phone numbers. I always just put in the whole thing.
Oh.
It's like 10 digits or whatever.
Well,
there you go. Today I learned about phone numbers.
Yeah, the closer link-wise you are to someone in the phone system, the less you need to actually
I just put everything in. I just put everything in every time. Just keeps things simple, I think. There you go. 5 digits. I've never called someone with 5 digits. Never, ever.
Alrighty.
Or less.
Who's it gonna be?
It's gonna be Dad, right? We just had... We just agreed.
We said with that background. That was part of it.
What is the rule then?
With that background,
what is the rule then?
Keiichi being handed a phone, no declaration of who it is. That's his dad, or it's 10 points.
All right, let's say
it's a different background.
I'm gonna say it's his dad.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, then we get points. No, let me talk. Don't hit it. I gotta do the whole line.
Go for it.
Okay. Keiichi, are you calling someone at this hour? It's late and it's being rude to the other person.
That doesn't matter right now. I shout angrily at my mother.
Suck! We get a point for that. Point to us!
I shouted angrily at my mother, listening to the dial tone.
Bullshit.
Pick up, come on, pick up.
Bullshit. Ryukashi, please. It's like he's trying to kill us.
That's right. At least we've traded lines between his mother and father, so they're on even.
They have the same amount. It makes sense.
The time was 11 p.m. It certainly wasn't early. It was essentially the middle of the night. Had Rika-chan already gone to bed? Her phone would be ringing constantly, though, so would she get back up for me?
Oh.
Rika-chan didn't pick up. She didn't pick up.
Oh boy.
Maybe she just happened to miss it. Maybe her bed was just too far away from the phone. The sound of a phone ringing gets clearer and clearer the longer you go on sleeping. Then, the bathroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, she must be taking a bath.
That makes sense to
If
me.
that was the case, then even if she heard the phone, she wouldn't be able to pick up. It's a little late to be taking a bath, but it was possibly she normally took baths right before going to bed. I'll wait 30 minutes, then try calling again. Yes,
Yeah.
Waiting later to come along and call someone, that's it's gonna work.
This will be fine. This music indicates safety and, togetherness.
Yeah, this was the backing tune for the safety dance after all.
Yeah, that's... Somebody make that, please. Somebody make that for me. The safety dance. Oh, God.
You unfamiliar with the safety dance?
I am. Yes, I'm trying to match it to this song and figure out how the fuck that would work.
Okay.
It can be done.
Even as I was thinking that, I called her house over and over again. I kept calling, over and over, again and again. I kept on calling her, but she didn't pick up even once. I think I kept trying for about 30 minutes. Yeah, she wasn't picking up. My phone call's so persistent that she had gotten scared of picking up the receiver. Also, just for the record, in case I'm wrong about the phone numbers thing, maybe Japan just does have small phone numbers, and I'm
excited to find out.
I'm willing to accept that.
You're willing to take the hit.
I'm willing
for the
to-
team.
I'm willing to take the
You're willing
hit.
to be wrong for once,
But
and get shit on by the internet.
what I said was not wrong. I just don't know if it applies to Japan. I assume it does.
God damn you!
I just wanted to cover all my bases before I get angry comments from
No.
Funk telling me how.
Going out! Going out! Please don't fight. This is my job. My job is to fight Funk in the comments. I know your job. Don't you take this away from me. There's the one thing I do on this fucking show is fight people on the internet.
We love you, Funk.
I love you, Funk. Fuck. Get a different name. That's why I'm chatting like this.
Just sounds like you're insulting him.
Yes, I love you, Funk. I'm just
You're just
so
the worst.
excited.
This is why you're so aggressive with everyone on the
It's true.
internet.
It's true.
Oh my god.
Come at
Well,
me.
my phone call's so persistent that she'd gotten scared of picking up the receiver.
But that couldn't possibly be it. There was no point in doing this any longer. The best thing to do would be to go there in person. Where was Rika-chan's house, though?
Oh, good.
Shit, I've never even asked her where she lived.
Oh, boy.
Her residence was written there in the contact list, but it was an address with mostly numbers, so I couldn't tell where it was just by reading it. I'll have to check it on Google Maps. Shit, it's the 1980s.
No. I don't have a phone that can do
Is
that.
there a map or something in here? Rika Furude. Her last name was Furude. It's a bit of an odd last name, so it might be easy to find. Thinking that, I rummaged around the drawer with the phone book, but could only find things like takeout menus and phone numbers for public establishments. Shit. I tore one thing after another out of the drawer, but it didn't come up with any clues as to where Rika-chan's house was. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. If you don't know, then just ask. Ask someone who does know. That's it. Rena's gotta know. I looked up Rena's phone number on the contact list. Rena Ryugu. There she was.
More phone dial tones. As if dealing with telcos wasn't enough to scar me for life.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's you!
It's me!
I think, unless it's her parents.
Unless it's... Yeah, I was going to say.
Just
hit
do
it.
the line anyway.
Hello? Oh, my God. Get out of life! Oh, get out of life!
Actually, I've had it with these parents. Just delete parents from the game.
Oh, my God.
Delete parents. Open up the console, tippity tap it in, delete parent. There, I did
Do you
it.
want to...
I'm gonna have to edit that now. I'm gonna have to edit a console window over the top of this fucking game now.
Do you want to be Rena's father?
Sure.
But I
He's
mean, you
Russian
should.
now.
Okay, sure. That sounds fine.
Hello, this is Ryugu.
This is definitely fine.
It was the voice of a grumpy-sounding man. Must have been Rena's father. By calling him in the middle of the night, I need to be polite. I'm sorry for calling so late at night. This is my bar. Is there any chance Rena-san is around?
Rena is taking a bath. Oh, she's done. Rena,
This-
there's a friend of yours on the phone.
This will be fine.
Right.
Oh, right. Rena Ryugu was her real name, wasn't it? Got so used to calling her Rena that hearing her real name caught me a little off guard.
Hello, this is Rena.
It's me, Keiichi. Your dad sounds like a piece of shit. I'm sorry for calling so late.
Awful. Huh? Keiichi-kun, Why do you need it at a time like this? Like this?
Actually, I wanted to know where Rika-chan's house is. Rena seemed a little appalled that I called her for something like that at this hour. However, she spoke her next word seriously as if she caught on how urgent my need was.
Okay, sure. You know the assembly hall on the grounds of the Fude Shrine. There's a 2-star shack used for storage behind it. That's where she lives.
A shack?
A shack!
I couldn't
2
immediately
stories.
visualize the place, but
As long as I knew she lived on the shrine grounds, I just have to take a look around. Got it, thanks. Sorry again for calling so late. Apologize to your dad for me too, would you?
Okay, but Keiichi-kun, why do you want to know where Rika-chan lives?
Rena asked in an unusually sharp way, holding me before I could hang up the phone. Hesitated for a moment about whether to tell her. He was killed because I told him.
Keiichi-kun, if you're still listening, could you answer me? Why are you asking where Rika-chan lives at a time like this?
Is this 3 music clips right now?
Yes, I think so.
Oh my god.
It's great.
Rena affected her usual tone, but beneath her words lay a certain tension, like she'd intuitively sensed something was going on. What will you do, Keiichi? If it's Rena, can I tell her?
Yeah.
He was killed because he found out. Yeah. I revealed everything, so he was killed.
Definitely don't tell her anything, please. Keiichi-kun, Rena's being serious. Please answer me.
Rena asked me once again in a tone so forceful I couldn't imagine her using it normally. I was taken aback by her vigor. Rena was Rika-chan's friend too. She had the right to be concerned about Rika-chan disappearing. If I told Rena, then, even if only for a moment, I could drive away my horrifying fears.
I take it back, don't tell her anything. She'll be safe if you don't tell her.
Rena, well, I can't exactly tell you why, but...
Yes?
Rena's tone was seriousness itself. Just from that tone, I could feel her saying, no matter what you say, Keiichi-kun, I'll believe you. That subtle sense of security gave me the courage to reveal the truth. I have a feeling that Rika-chan is in danger.
You mean like a premonition? Or do you have some reason to believe she's in danger?
I really didn't have time to go back and forth with Rena about this. Still, I think listening to her calm voice soothed my pointless impatience. I don't have much reason, but yet I still hesitated. I told Rika-chan that we had snuck into the ritual storehouse. The mayor to whom Shion had confessed before that had already disappeared. So it's possible that Rika-chan also didn't know how to explain it to Rena. While I was tongue-tied, Rena spoke up.
Sorry for asking something so weird. I thought about it. It isn't like you need to be sure.
Rena laughed a little, seeming a bit absent-minded. Wasn't exactly in the mood to laugh, so this time I was dumbfounded. Rena continued in a cheerful yet still purposeful voice.
You're worried about a friend. I don't think you need a reason to go and check on them. Even if Rika-chan was asleep, you ended up waking her up. That was why you did it then. None of us would get mad.
Rena, thank you.
Okay then. Keiichi-kun, just one thing. You called Rika-chan's house, right? Then you just couldn't get through, so that's why you asked me where her house is.
Yeah, that's right. Must have called her for over 10 minutes. She could just be sleeping and not have noticed.
Rika-chan's house is really small. She would definitely hear the phone ringing even if she was asleep. Sadako-chan is there too, so there's no way neither of them would notice.
Huh? Sadako, you mean she's living with Rika-chan?
Yeah. You didn't know? Well, we can talk about that later. Anyway, if you call that much and no one answered, then something's definitely wrong.
Rena understood the situation wasn't normal far faster than I could have ever imagined her to. Made her seem dependable. However, the fact that Rena had acknowledged this also meant the best case possibility of it all just being a result of my own needless fears went out the window.
I'll go to Rika-chan's house right now. You come with me? I can show you the way.
Sounds good. Let's meet up at the same place as usual. I'll be waiting for you.
No, wait. I'll come get you at your house. You just wait there and tell your family you'll come with me to Rika-chan's house, okay?
Will that be okay? We might lose time if you come here.
Did you call me Chan too? She's really dependable at times like these. If you haven't, then I'll give her a call.
My thoughts froze for a moment. Shiona just told me to be careful around me during our phone conversations a little while ago.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, Keiichi. Or don't, because that's way more interesting.
Keep everyone close, please.
The Zanazaki main house was somehow lurking behind the surface of the annual freak deaths.
I just like the idea of just this massive military-style compound just like peeking up through the ground.
Lurking beneath, yes.
It's like they fucking just have a submarine base.
Yeah.
That is their
with
whole
nuclear
house.
warheads, yeah.
Behind the surface of the annual freak deaths. And the current heir to the family, Mion, wouldn't be uninvolved, rather. So, wouldn't that mean she wasn't uninvolved with what happened to Takano-san and Toмотaki-san, and also the mayor's disappearance?
Oh boy.
Okay, bye!
I'll be right over. Wait for me.
That's all Rena said before hurriedly hanging up. Now, Now wasn't the time to be doubting Mion. Need to make sure Rika-chan was safe.
Let's go. Sure, everything will be fine.
You know what? The worst case scenario here is that Mion's like, I'll meet you guys there. They arrive there. Mion's like, I got here early and they're not here, guys. And then Keiichi's like, oh no.
That'd be pretty great. I've looked everywhere for them. And she just like tucks a knife into the bushes.
I got changed and grabbed the key to my bike. I figured things would go more smoothly if we met up in the place we usually do before school. And it wouldn't need to come all the way to my house.
Ah, yes. Nothing quite like circling each other in the middle of the night.
It's good.
Keiichi.
It's very coordinated.
He's so good at this. I love how quickly this man just throws a plan out the window.
It's great. Like, he's so, I would not say calm and collected, but he's so, like, ready to work with everyone, like, figure it out. And he's just like, but what if XYZ, therefore I should just not tell anyone anything, creep out, cloak and dagger this shit. It's great.
Keiichi's the kind of guy who's on the dentist table and they're like, oh, you have a cavity, let me drill it out. And then it flinches the dentist, put the drills in, so he just ends up impaled in the side of his mouth.
I don't want to think about that. That sounds awful. I've never had that happen to myself, and I don't want it to. It sounds awful.
I don't think it would have happened to many people. Those tools are well designed. Shit's expensive for dentists.
Sure. It's like $10,000.
Why they fucking charge so much?
Yeah, motherfuckers. It's all a big conspiracy.
Big dent.
Mr. Dent is coming for you. Oh no!
My parents would probably have objected if I told them I was leaving, so I creeped out without a word. The night was unusually warm and disagreeably humid.
Did you literally tell him you should tell your parents that you're leaving? God damn it, Keiichi.
He's an expert, Ben.
I know. He's an expert delinquent. He's like Mion. An expert delinquent.
That's absolutely
It's
true.
his job path.
She said that Rika-chan and Sadako lived together, right? Huh? And it wasn't only Rika-chan, Sadako wasn't there either.
Oh boy!
Realizing what them living together really meant caused my thoughts to immediately take a turn for the worse. It can't be. She's got nothing to do with any of this. Even if there was a reason for Rika-chan to disappear, there shouldn't be one for Sadako.
Keiichi-kun.
Rena was really fast.
Damn
she approached
right.
me on her bike at an amazing speed. Her breath was ragged, panting, and a clear picture of just how hardly she'd been going. Oh, hey, Rena, let's get going.
Keiichi-kun, I thought I told you to wait at your house.
Rena's expression was all business. Was she mad?
Yes.
Can't be out of the blue, and I faltered for a moment. I just figured it'd be faster to meet up here.
God damn it, dude. Oh god. She is not happy.
Neither is the music.
Keiichi-kun, don't you get it?
Rena shouted, clearly angry. I'd never seen Rena like this before. Do I get it? What's the problem? Rena seemed to notice she was scaring me, took a couple of breaths, and then continued as if admonishing me, but her expression didn't soften at all.
They literally suffered! It suffered on screen, I saw it!
Come on, Ryukashi.
Ryukashi, please! Keiichi-kun, the whole village is in an uproar now that the elder disappeared, right?
Yeah?
Now you're telling me that Rika-chan and Sadako-chan are where they're supposed to be, right?
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Then you need to be more careful. Do you have any idea how dangerous it is to be standing out here alone in the middle of the night?
I began to understand where Rena's anger was coming from.
You told your family you'd be going to Rika-chan's house with me, didn't you? So in the worst case scenario, if you and I were to disappear, people would know when and where we did.
Rena was perfectly level-headed in this emergency situation. Ever since the night of the Watanagashi, every night someone had died or disappeared. On the night itself, Takano-san and Tamataki-san met strange ends. On the next night, the elder vanished. Now on the next night after that, Rika-chan and Sadako were nowhere to be found. Hadn't been thinking of anyone but myself, but wasn't enough to say that Hinamizawa was a little weird at the moment. It was in fact extremely strange. Ren had even anticipated our own disappearances, and had told me to tell my family where I was going. I was embarrassed at my own carelessness. And the need to be embarrassed made me afraid of the night. Sorry, I didn't tell them yet.
Yeah, she's thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. Good on her. Smart girl. Okay then, let's go tell them together.
With Renan beside me, I wheeled back towards my house.
I find it had been burned down mysteriously.
The moon seemed strangely high in the sky. A sky that was uselessly vast and cold. So that no matter what, it would never seem to me like a dream. This cruel fact had already confronted me. On such a crazy night, Rena had been unimaginably dependable. And Amazawa's metamorphosis, enough to make Rena caution me against carelessness, was, to me, the most fearsome thing of all. The moon seemed strangely high in the sky. We met up with Mion on the way, and she, of course, was unsure whether to believe me about Rika-chan and Sadako's disappearance.
Keiichi, are you serious? I'm going to get really mad if this is a joke.
Mion was clearly displeased. If this were a joke, it wasn't very funny. I understood how indiscreet my words were. Ever since the day before yesterday, someone had died or vanished every night. Rika-chan and Sadako disappearing after all that was something you just couldn't say even in jest.
Mi-chan, if it really is a joke, don't get mad, smile. It will be a joke after all. We need to go make sure whether it's a joke or not.
You're right. Sorry for getting upset.
However indiscreet a joke it may have been, if we learned our friends were safe, it would end up as nothing more than a funny story.
Yeah.
Having been warned about that by Rena, Mion gave a dry smile. Tension she felt loosening a bit.
See, this page is a good life lesson.
It is.
It is a good life lesson.
Yeah.
Take it to heart, friendos.
Yeah. Rena knows what's up.
She mounted her bicycle as well. Our 3 bicycle lights flashed down the pitch-black roads. They're some of the only illumination outside.
Looking like a remote late-night rave. Just going down the road, pumping Creative Commons music.
Creative Commons rave music?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I go to that. That's very artsy.
Why did you suddenly decide to call and ask about Rika-chan's house at a time like this?
Mion asked me the same thing that I had trouble explaining to Rena. Would it be weird to call it a premonition? Couldn't quite tell because it was dark, but I thought I could see Mion smiling very ambiguously. Definitely understood she wasn't convinced, though, despite the darkness. I had this bad dream while I was snoozing, and I couldn't get it out of my head.
So, did Rika-chan get kidnapped in the dream?
Well, it was more of a vague feeling, sort of thing. If Rika-chan had answered the phone, I would have called you and Renner after that. Lies smoothly babbled out of my mouth, making makeshift though they were.
Oh boy.
I was lying because I thought telling them was connected. I was lying because I thought telling them I was connected to Shion would be like silently admitting we'd stolen into the ritual storehouse together that night.
Which apparently everyone knows already.
Yes.
So
apparently everyone knows, and we're still concerned about it.
It's great.
Mion didn't press me any further. I don't know whether that convinced her, or maybe she figured that making sure that Rika-chan and Sadako were safe would be faster than making an issue out of it. I felt relieved and immediately a little guilty. Mion hadn't really been acting any differently these last few days, but I'm still trying to distance myself from her for some reason. It's only because of what I heard from Shion and Uishi-san, that she was the successor to some kind of super extravagant gang family. No. Was I just trying to force myself to forget? Don't do that, Keiichi Maibara. Wasn't it Mion who was the first to ask about the night of the Wadanagashi? In such a harsh tone at that. If I already forgotten the terror I felt, the time Mion looked like someone different from the Mion I knew. When I think about that Mion, then Shion and Uishi-san's descriptions of Mion made a tiny bit more sense. That's it, isn't it? If it wasn't for how she acted that day, then I wouldn't be feeling this way towards her now. What on earth was going on with her back then? I was conveniently thinking only of everything she'd done after that, while disregarding the very first thing that I should have been looking at most, wasn't I? Mion was pedaling her bicycle in front of me, her long hair fluttering in the wind. No matter how long I looked at her back, it never gave me answers to any of my questions. We went all the way to the stone steps leading up to the shrine grounds. Of course, we weren't going to haul our bikes up there, so we parked them beside the staircase instead. So this is the Furude Shrine.
Everybody comes and goes as they please, as if it were a park, but this place is actually a grand estate owned by the Furude family.
So the entire shrine is private property. It really makes you feel the passage of time. 10 or 20 years ago, it would have looked the exact same. And wouldn't that mean the Furude family is really old, with a history going back for generations?
Yeah, they're gone. It's odd.
And I said something clearly disquieting, so I ran over to her. What's wrong, Rena?
Everything. Rika-chan and Sadako-chan always leave their bicycles here. See? They've gone.
I took a look around. Indeed, there were no other bicycles aside from the ones we'd taken to get here.
Couldn't they have parked them somewhere else?
Could they have brought them up the stairs?
Those girls couldn't do that, Keiichi-kun.
Just as she said that, I couldn't imagine Rika-chan and Sadako lugging their bikes all the way up there. We hadn't yet knocked on Rika-chan's door, but reality was already sparking some ideas that weren't what you'd call good. Maybe they were just parked under some trees and we hadn't noticed them. I refused to believe that not being able to find their bikes here was proof they'd disappeared. Let's go there, and the way to be sure is to check their house. We all nodded and dashed up the stone steps.
Wow.
We passed through the Red Arch and came onto the shrine grounds, which was covered in neat gravel. So quiet here as though the Watanagashi festival had never happened. So where's the house they live in?
Over here. Come with me.
Rena took the lead and sprinted off. We went towards the assembly hall behind the shrine, then looped around behind it.
Wow, that is quite a shack.
Yeah, there it is. It's like a lean-to.
It's interesting because, like, okay, this is just, like, getting into massive tangent territory, but, like...
Good.
It's obviously, you know, a pretty old, raggedy building, but at the same time, it looks like a lot of the, like, super modern buildings that are going up in the neighborhood around here right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
just
Yeah.
like the minimalist boxy style with a kind of, like, wide, flat roof.
Yeah.
2 stories, you
Nothing
know,
too fancy.
long, thin windows. Garage on the bottom, living stuff on top.
Yeah. It's pretty, like, straightforward. Pretty, yeah.
Like, there's obviously smaller than the ones that are going up around here at the moment, but it's still kind of like a similar style of design, which is interesting because I wouldn't really consider the architecture around my neighborhood
Very
Japanese inspired. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, this is like, I don't know. I feel like this is just a very simple building. Like, we saw a shot, just so you know, of the shrine.
Yeah.
Lots of curves, lots of, like, curly bits. This is very boxy, which is not what I associate with, like, any particular architecture. It's just the simplest form of building you can have.
I guess so.
In the darkness of the night, we found a small prefab 2-story shack that looked like a warehouse.
I guess the fact that it's
Warehouse?
prefab probably might be the big
Made in Australia.
consistency. Yeah, maybe. The lights are off. Are they sleeping?
Let's knock.
Renner and Mion neared the shack, which didn't really look like a place people would live.
It's all business.
It's such a beautiful shrine, so I figured they'd live in an equally beautiful house. It was far from what I had expected.
Rika-chan, Sadako-chan, are you there?
Renner shouted up towards the 2nd floor. Her voice was restrained at first, but it steadily grew louder. No answer. In fact, there wasn't any sort of activity in the house at all.
That piano motif that Ryukishi keeps dropping at uncomfortable moments, the very minor secondy one, it's so quiet, I wonder if he even intended for it to be heard. I wonder if it's, like, meant to be
Subliminal, like,
so buried that it's, like, almost subliminal.
only dogs can hear it, that sort of thing.
Not quite that level, but it's clearly not quite
I
front
mean, it's clearly, like, in the background.
Yeah, it's not as front and center as all of the other music tracks.
It's not meant to make a big impression, it just kind of adds to that tension.
They might be sleeping. Let's wake them up.
Mion banged on the shutter with both hands, and the loud sounds echoed into our surroundings. They'd have to notice this much noise. They would turn on the light in their room, fling open the windows, and yell, "What time do you think it is?" That, however, wasn't happening. There was absolutely no response, and there were 2 empty boots on the front of the house, next to what appears to be some kind
boots
of
are they?
overturned bucket.
Oh no! They were going to fetch a pail of water, and then they lost their boots and their pail.
Mion stopped slamming her fists on the shutter, and a sudden silence fell over us. The silence aroused terrible thoughts in us.
Oh no.
I could feel the blood draining from my face.
It's locked. I wonder if we can get into it somehow.
That is a missing word.
Yeah, I got a little bit thrown off by the lack of a letter, or 2 letters, but I wonder if we can get into it somehow.
Brenna showed no signs of stopping. Didn't look like she would admit they weren't there until we went inside and saw for ourselves. The refusal to give in gave me strength.
Just climb up to the 2nd story, smash a window in, easy.
Yeah,
Problem
that sounds
solved.
reasonable.
2nd story windows wouldn't be locked. I'll give them a try.
Oh my god.
What?
I didn't think he was actually going to do it.
Yeah, he's doing it. So I told you he's a professional delinquent.
Keiichi, a ladder.
Mion brought over a ladder that was standing against the house. The footing was a little unstable for me to be climbing it, but Mion held the ladder firmly in place for me.
He doesn't quite know how to pick a lock, but he could probably smash one. You know?
That is true.
You know?
I hadn't climbed too many ladders. It's a good thing that it's not a fucking complex skill.
It's 1 foot after the other, Keiichi. Come on.
It's like,
This is great. He's like, oh, I hope I can climb this ladder correctly. Oh no.
I guess, like, the height aspect would probably terrify people.
And balancing just a bit, yeah.
Balancing, it's just like...
Have you never been on a wonky ladder that's like one side's a little bit shorter than the other, and you're like, shit, I need someone to hold this for me, you know, that sort of thing? You know, done that? Like, we cleaning the gutters on your roof or whatever?
I mean, I've cleaned gutters on roofs before with ladders, but I can't say I've ever found a particularly unstable ladder.
Yeah.
You the kind of person that stands on the top step of a ladder despite the warnings, Ben?
I know what? I don't know. I haven't paid that much attention to it. I might be.
Okay. Because there are warnings on ladders that say don't stand on the top step for a reason.
Why not?
Ben.
Because of balance?
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much.
Yeah.
Because basically, the way that ladders are designed is that you lean forward so you have
Onto
support
it.
against the body
Right.
of the ladder. So if you stand on the top step, you have nothing to lean on.
There you go.
It's just
I'm
purely
learning
a
so
balancing
much.
act. Yeah.
I'm learning about phone numbers and learning about ladders. These are all incredible bits of trivia.
Yeah.
How do you learn this shit?
By doing shit in the real world.
It's great. I'm learning so much.
Thought you were meant to be the farm boy here.
I know I am. I just look. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. In the farm, we don't care what step of the ladder you're on. If you're on the ladder, that's all that matters.
I guess out
We
in the farm
literally
you
do
don't
not
have to
care.
worry about fucking
We don't
occupational
fucking
health and
care.
safety.
We literally do not. That's straight up why I don't know these things.
I see.
Because we just fucking stay on the ladder and clean the gutter. And then
Warning
done.
stickers ruining the aesthetic of my ladder.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't even know if there was a warning.
Oh, there absolutely was at some point in history.
Because when you said there's a warning sticker for the top step, I'm like, what warning? I didn't see one. My parents didn't tell me about it.
We're
They
all
just held
learning
the bottom.
things today. It's such a
great.
wonderful learning experience.
You're the city kid, I'm the country kid. I'm learning about this fast-paced lifestyle.
My inexperience with them exposed, I climbed up one step at a time and tried to open each window on the second floor.
See, I'm the Keiichi in this situation. You're the... No one, because there's no one here. Anyway. Me-chan, I'm gonna go check the main house just to be sure, okay? I'll be right back.
Rena darted away. What? The main house?
I'm having a lot of fun drawing out my words. Oh my goodness. Ugh.
It's the Furude family's actual house. After her parents passed away, I think it's been left like that.
Ah, right. Rika-chan's parents. They passed away, huh?
Oh.
At that point, I recalled something else. Wasn't Sadako living here too?
Sadako's also an orphan. Her parents fell from a cliff because of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Then her older brother Satoshi-kun, he disappeared.
Satoshi, I've heard that name before. I remembered. He was the one who disappeared last year because of the curse.
Ever since then, Sadako and Rika-chan have been living in this shack. Neither of them has any family, but at least they're together. They help each other out.
Rena said main house, didn't she? Wouldn't it be easier to live there? Curtains were drawn, so I couldn't get a good look inside to see, but two young girls living together seemed like a pretty tough life.
I think she tried that at first. She said it was hard, though, because it reminded her of her parents.
I had no idea. I feel really bad for them.
Sad times.
They were normally so cheerful at school that I'd never even realized an atom of this. Rika-chan and Sadako-chan, they have it hard, huh?
She's cursed.
Huh?
Oh no.
Suddenly Mion said something in such a low voice it didn't sound like she was really cursing someone, and I didn't let it slide.
Also, Keiichi's alone with Mion just like he was told not to be.
Yay!
Best story.
He's so good at this.
Oh, he's just so
He's
wonderful.
good at staying out of trouble, isn't he?
Isn't he?
God damn
I
it.
turned around on the ladder to face her and asked again. Mion, what did you just say?
Is it the eyes time?
Ah, damn.
I said she's cursed.
Maybe soon.
Mion, still holding onto the ladder, brought her head up and looked me in the eyes.
Ah!
As soon as her eyes met, an absolute zero jolt of
Here we go.
electricity surged through my body. Mion's eyes clouded over, and within them boiled and bubbled a stew of
A
chaos.
stew of chaos.
They whirled around like a raging
Delicious.
sea, and bubbles flowed to the surface.
I could imagine that being a really fun 3D graphics project.
Uh-huh.
Such a shame, such a shame that we'll never get to see it.
Creating a stew of chaos.
You know, eyes rolling like a waving sea, just like come down
Yeah,
into
no,
the
I feel you.
eyes. Anyone who's ever seen the opening scene of the reboot Cosmos, like
I have
the
not.
very opening shot,
Are you talking about eyes being like on the crest of a wave and then they like slam into you? Is that where this is like there's a ship?
no,
and
like you
eyes
go down
slam
onto
into-
the like iris of the eyeball, and then
Sure.
it just transitions into
Yeah, I
like
get it.
an
I get it.
ocean.
It's into a storm.
It's
It's like lightning in the eyes.
yeah, it sounds like a good fun 3D, 3D hobby
that
project.
would be fun.
At some point, I'd been trapped on this ladder, like being cornered on a dead-end street.
Oh no.
Mion, why are you making that face? I intended to follow that up with, you're going too far with this joke, and give her a forced smile. However, on such uneven footing as I was, the only thing that came out of my mouth was a hoarse groan as I desperately struggled not to let nausea overwhelm me.
Sadako Hojo, she's been cursed by Oyashiro-sama.
Mion answers with a response to something I never asked, as if replying to someone else's question.
The only people who fell from the park observation platform were her parents. Only her parents, who treated her like dirt, died that day. She was the only one to survive. And she was sent to live with her aunt, who treated her cruelly, and the aunt was killed on the night of the Watanagashi by some deviant, who beat her to death so violently her brains were everywhere and her head an entirely different shape by the end of it. Then Satoshi-kun, who always protected her, he suddenly disappeared on her birthday. Someone made him disappear even though he wasn't abusing her.
The police
I'm gonna keep reading this in Mihon's voice.
Yep.
The police judged him to have run away from home, but Satoshi-kun wasn't the kind of person who would do that. He was always earnest. He would never ask for anyone else's help. He'd always drag himself through everything with hard work alone. He worked so hard he nearly ground his bones into dust, all for his one and only little sister, and yet someone made him disappear. She was the only thing he lived for, and yet someone made him disappear. Poor, poor Satoshi-kun. He was never rewarded, that Satoshi-kun. How ungrateful that child is. She is cursed, and all who get near her suffer the same fate. The curse kills them, or the curse makes them disappear. She cannot have any relief. She cannot have any relief. It's probably Sadako's fault that Rika-chan disappeared too. It has to be, 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 it has to. Yan was mumbling words over and over that were no longer coherent. Her shoulders were trembling so hard that I could feel it through the ladder. I almost lost my footing, which made me realize just how far away the ground really was. Calm down, Mion. I don't know what you're talking about. Wasn't sure if she even heard me. Mion rocked back and forth, and that rocking and trembling was becoming even more violent. Help me. The ladder is falling. Help me. Help. Just then I heard the sound of many people running towards us.
Oh, hey!
Over here!
Oh!
I very nearly said, help me outright. 4 or 5 adults led by Ren ran over here with flashlights.
Keiichi-kun, Michan, Sato so long. I borrowed the key.
Oh, nice one. Seems all the windows and doors are perfectly sealed. I was getting worried. When I heard Mion talking like nothing had just happened, I again felt a chill run through me. The person currently holding the ladder in place, it was definitely Mion. It was the real Mion Sanazaki. Then, the person muttering to themselves just a few seconds ago. Who was that? The person who was mumbling about terrible things like curses. Who was that? I jumped down from the ladder as if running away before Mion turned into that person who wasn't Mion a second time. I don't know what happened to my pronunciation of the word second there.
That's right, you got that.
That was weird as fuck.
Second.
The adults tried a few different keys and a keyring as they tried to open the big shutter on the first floor.
Rika-chan's house used to be a disaster shelter for the town council, so the key to the shutter is still kept in the mayor's house.
Who is also missing! It's Rika-chan and Sadako's private residence now, though. Well, this is on Rika-chan's property anyway. Nobody complains about it. Mion gave me a smile as she said that. I, however, could only return her gaze with an aghast expression. Mion was acting all too normal, but that only contrasted all the more sharply with her earlier un-Mion-like creepiness. Sound effects, noises.
Bang, clatter, bang, 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 woo!
Shutter opened up for the first time in a very long while. Rena located the light switch and wasted no time going inside. I followed her in.
Rika-chan, Sadako-chan, if you're here, say something.
We climbed a narrow staircase. It looked like nothing more than a warehouse, but now that I was inside, I could feel how lived in it was. It was a person's home. Somehow the scent of the two of them filled the place. This was definitely where Rika-chan and Sadako lived. We're gonna find corpses upstairs or something?
I don't know.
I hope so.
I don't know. The bikes weren't here.
I'm just enjoying this track.
It's a nice track, isn't it? It's not the one I'm waiting for, though.
Nice slow-paced little... This is a Glock? I don't know if this is a Glock.
Glockenspiel? I think it might be, honestly. It sounds like
It's a bit
one.
too low for a Glock, though.
Or like a Japanese equivalent, you know.
I wouldn't exactly say the soundtrack has been particularly Japanese.
It hasn't. But you never know when they might pull out those Japanese instruments.
I was not much of a like old school band musician, so I can't remember the names of all the instruments. But I know the one this is. I just can't remember the name for
You
it.
know what this instrument is? Is this the one they play underwater? And they move their hands over it and
No.
air current?
It's a very ordinary instrument. I just don't remember if it has a different name to the
I don't
Glock.
know. I don't know. Glockenspiel is probably fine.
I thought the Glock was like the small one.
It
Maybe
is.
I'm wrong.
It's a lighter sound, but same
This is
principle.
like
Xylophone.
this is like the big one, not the xylophone.
I don't know. You tell me. You're the music expert.
I'm supposed to be, but I'm not.
It's like me and the J-Pans.
Exactly.
It's good.
The first floor doubled as a town assembly warehouse, but the second floor was a space entirely for living. Just like a one-room apartment, past the kitchen was the living room taking up about 150 square feet. What's that What's that in
Meters.
what's that in communist units?
In communist meters, tell us the numbers.
Dresses, cupboards, and the like were packed into the space, and in the corner there was a huge pile of clothes that appeared to have just been taken in from drying outside.
Oh boy.
In the center of the living room was a fold-up table, and on it were small containers for things like soy sauce and salad dressing. The sense of a frugal lifestyle drifted from all of it. It was strange that they weren't in the middle of the night like this. They weren't here in the middle of the night like this. The adults climbing the stairs one at a time began to make a fuss and talk amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, not here?
Yeah, they're not here. This is definitely weird.
The village had just been thrown into chaos yesterday because of the mayor's disappearance. And today, even Rika-chan and Sadako had...
I guess these are the adults?
Just random adults. Well, they all playing somewhere together. No, that can't be. The bicycles aren't here, though. Where would they have gone so late at night? Have they just not come back yet? Where did they go?
The adults put forth various possibilities, and the house immediately devolved into a state of confusion. Eventually, Mion settled them down.
Yes, thank you, adults.
I don't want to believe it, but the mayor, Kimiyoshi, disappeared yesterday. I can't say this is unrelated.
The adult's faces paled at Mion's declaration. Mine and Rena's did as well.
Let's see. They could have gone nearby for some tea or something, then accidentally fallen asleep. Whoever invited them might just not be able to wake them up at all, too. Let's eliminate that possibility first. Akino-san, please go around the houses near the stream. Keitaro-san, go look near Ojaga Lake. Okamura-san, you...
Okamura-san!
Mion promptly gave directions to the villages. The adults followed them without hesitation despite her age.
We'll remain here and call up anyone we can think of on the phone. Okay, everyone, you have your orders.
Got it!
The adults all roared in reply and pounded back down the stairs below.
Yeah, let's go, guys. Let's get those kids. Woo! Well, Mi-chan, you're not only the chairperson of the school, but your name's Zawa too.
No time for jokes. Hey, step aside. This old man is using the phone.
Mion grinned proudly, took the receiver, and got started. Rena gave Mion a trusting look, considering her dependable for doing all of this. My feelings, though, were a little more complicated since her leadership seemed to be affirming the Sonozaki family successor impression that Shion and Uishi-san had given me. Stop right there, Keiichi Maibara.
Calm yourself.
None of that matters right now. The most important thing is to make sure Rika-chan and Sadako are safe. Let's see, couldn't there be a clue hinting at where they might have gone somewhere in this room?
In this crime scene?
You calling this a crime scene, Ben? How presumptuous of you.
I'm excited.
Still, though, I wouldn't know what to look for anyway. If we tore the whole place apart and figured out what was different from before, we might be able to speculate, but there is nothing strange about this room and there are no clues in sight. In the first place, I'd never been here before. There's no way for me to know what was different if I didn't know how the room usually looked. Hey, don't give up, Keiichi Maibara. Stop thinking and start looking for something.
Start looking for secret passages. Quick!
In search of something, I tried pulling open the dresser drawers and open the windows. I didn't uncover anything meaningful, though. Rena, also unable to stand around doing nothing, was looking around the room like I was. Rena, I don't think you'll find Rika-chan by opening the refrigerator or the cabinet underneath the sink.
I just told him I have a hiding. How?
As we were searching, it got noisy outside. Villagers were quickly assembling here, having heard the commotion. Of course, a lot of them were probably people Mion had called.
Go tell everyone what's going on. The police will be here sooner or later, too. We need to explain the situation to Uishi.
Mion began descending the stairs, and we followed her out to the front of the house. There were already around 10 adults there, and all of them looked uneasy. I suddenly noticed the old people from the shrine were here as well, and they were praying for Rika-chan's safety, rubbing their prayer beads. This had gotten bad. This wasn't just a problem between friends anymore.
Mion-chan, is it true that Rika-chan, Sakura-chan are anywhere to be found, Chan?
Well done, Ben.
The villagers all formed a ring around Mion, swarming her. Mion raised her right hand as if silently telling them to calm down.
First, let's check every house according to the town council's notification division and see if they're visiting anyone. After all, they could be fast asleep at someone's house and totally unaware that we're looking for them.
Definitely be hard for someone to wake up Rika-chan if she'd eaten a good full meal and fallen asleep like a kitten afterwards. Oh, how nice it would be if that were the case.
I don't want to think about it, but it's also possible something bad has happened.
Mion's face grew remarkably more grim, and a wave of silence washed over the adults.
We should divide up the work, too. We'll go around to all the places we went last night looking for the mayor.
We'll go around the damn construction site as best we can. You guys go search around school.
Right, let's get a move on.
Yeah.
Come on, Jerry, let's go.
Let's do it. Am I Jerry now? Is it official?
No.
Okay.
Jerry is a voiceless man.
He's
the village mute.
He's the guy in the back who just like salutes. Yeah.
He's a village mute.
He's a Muppet.
He can only do sign language.
Yeah. Best character.
But we still give him a voice.
Yeah.
Just because we're generous.
Jerry is the best character.
That's right.
In Higurashi.
So when you hear Jerry speak, you just want to know that this is us voicing for him because we're generous souls.
It's true.
And we want him to be a part of this story.
We want to give him a voice.
Exactly.
Guys.
It's a little story about finding your own voice.
Yeah. It's very inspiring.
Well, if you're up all night looking for the mayor, I know you're all low on sleep, but please do your best.
Got it!
Yeah!
Yeah, get him, Jerry!
But that is their signal, the adults scattered in every direction.
I figured I should scatter somewhere as well, so I started walking unsteadily in a direction no one else had gone in.
Good plan. I like this.
He's fucking walking into the trees.
He's like,
he's
running off into the
bye,
mountains.
guys.
He's like, I'm gonna go look up in the mountains. Maybe I'll find a toilet up there.
I mean,
then
I
he
guess
never came back.
he does have main character syndrome, so he'd probably be the one to find something anyway.
It's true.
I was getting farther and farther from people. I didn't feel scared or anything, though. If someone were to disappear, Shion and I would be first. It'd been perfectly normal for me to be scared of the dark. However, I didn't feel that way. Why was that? It was because tonight, someone had already disappeared. So nobody else would disappear tonight. It'd take some time before I, exhausted as I was, would feel the guilt because of my own selfish sense of relief.
Oh boy.
There's actually like no one stopping him. He's just gone.
He's just walked off into the
what
woods.
the fuck?
Keiichi died of starvation 3 days later. He was mauled by a bear. Oh
It
shit.
just doesn't make sense that like Rena would just like let him go in a direction.
Huh? Maybe she's following him to make sure he's okay.
Oh well.
Who knows? Yes, we'll find out
I'm excited.
in the next part. Yeah.
Next time.
Next episode.